Well, in last episode, we talked about segregating this day from tomorrow and yesterday. Tomorrow doesn't exist. There's only today. Wow. Now, he goes on to say, our holy Maharash, our teacher and guide, if you will think in this manner, you will become very successful. Most people become brokenhearted and collapse into deep despondency and nervousness. Being tortured by their conscience, do so because they think and worry what happened yesterday, the day before that, and so on. Furthermore, they worry about what will be tomorrow or the day after that. Now, the magic tool of today is put me out of business. You're like, what kind of tool is that? Put Daniel out of business? Yes, put Daniel out of business, because my whole business of therapy and somewhat coaching can sometimes be built on the idea people become brokenhearted and are worried and disturbed by what happened yesterday. Yes. So if we can segregate and get rid of yesterday and tomorrow, we're going to be so much more happy. How do we do that? How do we throw the burden of yesterday off ourselves? Yeah, I think one important way is to realize we don't know what really happened yesterday. We talked about last time, we don't really know what will be tomorrow, but what do I mean we don't really know what happened yesterday? We don't. We really don't. Just think for a minute. Can you find three different stories that when you were younger, you thought they were, this was the narrative. And then 5 years later, narrative A, B, and C became narrative, A version 2, B version 2, and C version 2. And even 10 years later, it became A version 3, A version, B version 3, and C version 3. Now, I'd love you to pause the recording and take time or right after the recording and think about it, because what does that tell us? It tells us a fascinating thing, which is what we thought really happened is not what actually really happened. I had a client yesterday, it blew my mind, but it was awesome. He comes in and said, Daniel, I realized I've been making up childhood memories. I'm like, what? Oh my gosh, maybe we have a little more delusional here than I thought. But not exactly. For example, he thought that he had to drive to his dad's house when his parents got divorced. His parents got divorced when he was around 7 years old. And he had to go back and forth a lot. He thought that he had to go back and forth every day and that it really destroyed his life until he finally put his foot down at age 17, 10 years later, said, I'm not doing this. Turns out, talking to his mom and looking into history, actually, the reality was he only went back and forth every Wednesday and every other weekend. And you see that he said this is a big awakening for him, that his memories are really distorted, and he ended up magnifying this. True on an emotional level for a 7-year-old is very disturbing, maybe even to go back and forth once every week or two. Maybe that was upsetting. Maybe there was a deeper issue. But the truth is that our memories, our perceptions of what happened in the past are so limited and so distorted that it's not what actually happened. So if we can realize that what actually happened in the past is not what actually happened, that can begin to break the hold on the past. And as it breaks the hold on the past, we can let go of it. So I urge you, take some time today and write down 3 memories that you were wrong about. What you thought wasn't. And really get it clear in your mind that the past is not the past.